Hello YouTube, my name is Nero, and today we have some Call of Duty World at War, playing a bit of zombies, because this is Dear Nero. It's going to be a longer Dear Nero, and it's a lot easier to get zombies gameplay for Dear Nero, rather than go and try and get like 40 minutes worth of actual multiplayer footage, because the multiplayer footage, you guys expect it to be good, and that can take a long time to get good matches, and for a 40-minute video. So we're going to go zombies. I wanted to actually get Modern Warfare 3 Survival for today's video, but I couldn't, because I don't know where my Modern Warfare 3 is. I haven't touched that game basically since Black Ops 2 came out, man. Yeah, I have no idea where it is. I searched high and low, I can assure you, but I couldn't find it, because Modern Warfare 3 Survival is going to be pretty similar to what we're going to have in Advanced Warfare with Exo Survival, so I thought that would be a cool idea. No idea where my Modern Warfare 3 is, so we're going back to the classic World at War, doing a little bit of zombies here, and yeah, it's not the best zombies footage, but it's zombie footage nonetheless, so hopefully you guys all sit back, relax, and enjoy that. But welcome to this week's episode of Dear Nero, which of course is the weekly series here on my channel where subscribers send me in fan mail and or fan questions, and I do my best to go ahead and answer them. Last week I asked you guys to try and send in a bunch of questions, because the past couple ones have been kind of short. Like, usually Dear Nero is like a really long kind of show, but lately it's been kind of like 20-25 minutes, somewhere in there. Well, this one should be a lot longer. You guys sent in a lot of great questions, and we're just going to hop into here. I mean, we got good ones. We got Call of Duty questions, non-Call of Duty questions. We have a nice variety, most of them gaming related, which I like. And yeah, so we're going to hop into this with the first question. He's going to write, Dear Nero, I recently found out that Borderlands was originally meant to be a realistic looking game with a more serious plot, but they changed the game completely, including the visuals, to what we know today. I'm not big on Borderlands, but how do you think the game would be different if it stayed with its original draft, and do you think you would like it as much as you do now? From David. So David, I actually not know about this. I didn't know this at all, so I actually looked up some of the stuff that you were talking about here, and it's true, the original Borderlands, they actually have an entire trailer out, which was a lot different looking graphic-wise, as well as there's a bunch of like early screenshots of the game, where it's basically the same style of game, it didn't have that cel-shaded look, it didn't have that almost cartoony style look, and I gotta say though, man, I like the cel-shaded look a bit more. You know, some people, I actually had a question, I think it was for Dear Nero not too long ago, or maybe it was on Twitter, I don't remember, it was a question someone asked, I remember answering it, where they asked, why does Borderlands have such a crappy system of, like, why does it look so bad? You know, the person was kind of thinking that the cel-shaded look that they had in Borderlands was actually there because they couldn't afford to have good graphics, and so I'm like, no, yes, you don't understand, they intentionally went for that look, that cel-shaded, almost cartoony look. It's a unique look that basically not too many actual games have aside from them. You know, it's something that sets their game apart, it's something that makes their game feel unique, and when you see that kind of look, you think of the Borderlands universe, you know, and I like that look, I definitely like it a lot. It's not because they couldn't afford to make it better, it's just because that's what they wanted to have, that's the idea they had when they went with it, and they stuck with it with Borderlands 2, they're sticking it with the pre-sequel, and one would assume they're going to stick with it with Borderlands 3. If it were different, I guess I would still like Borderlands. The reason I like Borderlands is the setting. I like the setting of it, which is weird because I don't usually like space style stuff. We're often like in a completely different world of Pandora. I like the setting, I like the characters, and I like the story behind it. And I love the fact, you know, I just like everything about Borderlands. And if the graphics were different, I'm sure I would still like it just the same. And I think the same thing kind of goes for Call of Duty. You know, you look at the graphics of Call of Duty 4. You know, they're awful, or even World of War here. They're awful compared to, you know, what we see like Call of Duty Ghost or whatever on Xbox One. They're awful compared to Black Ops 2, but you still like it because you like the core game of Call of Duty, and I like the core game of Borderlands. So it doesn't matter to me what the graphics look like, although I gotta say I do love the cel-shaded look, I love the cartoony look, and I love all the humor that Borderlands 2 put in. Borderlands 1 was a lot more serious than Borderlands 2. A lot of people don't know that. The story wasn't as funny, and it's definitely a lot funnier in Borderlands 2. I definitely like that a lot more. And the pre-sequel is fitting to be another humor fest, which is going to be pretty great. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I was wondering, since I'm starting Hearthstone and wondering how to make certain decks, such as Pirate Zoo or others. The question is, what's the best way to make a deck? James from California. So if you guys don't know, Hearthstone is a free-to-play card game that I'm doing a lot of over on my second channel, which is Nero's Let's Plays. There's a link down in the video description if you guys want to check it out. If you like games that, are more of a Let's Play laid-back style than Call of Duty, commentary stuff that I do here on this channel, then check out that channel. I think you guys would probably like it. Right now we're doing a lot of Hearthstone stuff. Pretty soon we're doing tons of Borderlands pre-sequel stuff. That's going to be pretty cool. But you're wondering about Hearthstone. So the idea of a pirate deck, awful. Nobody uses pirate decks. They're just not good. I mean, first and foremost, to use a pirate deck efficiently, you have to have every pirate card within the game, and chances are you don't have that, because I don't even have that, and I've spent a shat ton of money on cards. So chances are you don't have all the pirate stuff. Don't go with the pirate deck. Occasionally you'll see some of the pirate cards, like I forget the name of the exact pirate card, but there's one of them that gains the attack of your weapon. So a lot of people use a certain pirate card in a pirate deck. There's another pirate card that I believe it has charge if you have a weapon out. There's certain ones that work well with like a warrior deck, but for the most part, nobody uses pirates. Zoo is probably the best deck for you to go with when you first start, because Zoo is ridiculously easy to make. You just look up a guide online, like Hearthstone.com has a lot of different kind of deck builds and stuff. And basically, Zoo is really, really cheap, low-cost minions that chances are you probably have them, because a lot of them are actually just very common cards. Like my brother just started playing Hearthstone, and Wildcat and I, we helped him put together a Zoo deck because they're very easy to put together. It doesn't really cost you anything. You can craft the cards if you need to, but chances are you're probably already going to have the cards you need to make a pretty proper Zoo deck. And then from there, you take your Zoo deck, which is pretty easy to use, and you take that and you just hop on ranked, or you hop in casual, do whatever it is you want to do. Just start playing, start earning some gold, and from that gold, you can start buying some packs with that. Or you can just pay real money for packs. It all depends on what you want to do with it. And and then you start playing Hearthstone that way. You start getting some money, start earning some more cards, and then from there, you can start working on some other decks. But Zoo is a pretty good starter deck. You should do that. And if you're wondering how to build one, there's tons upon tons of guides online. So you can just go ahead and do that, and it'll tell you what cards you need. Hope that helps. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, has your top 10 maps or personalization packs changed after Ghost and the last pack for Black Ops 2? Max from England. So Max is actually inquiring a little bit about my top 10 videos. So I did top 10 maps, and I did top 10 camos. And have they changed since the final DLC maps for Call of Duty Ghosts have come out, and since some extra personalization packs for Black Ops 2 have come out? I'd say no. They haven't really changed around at all. The DLC maps for Call of Duty Ghosts, honestly, the only one I would really liked, honestly, was Fog. Other than that, I mean, they're all just kind of subpar maps in my opinion. None of them were really game-breaking. Sure as hell weren't worthy of being in the top 10 maps of Call of Duty of all time. The personalization DLC, I mean, the blue Weaponized 115 camo, I think it's called Afterlife. That's a cool camo. I like Weaponized 115. That's still a good one. There's really nothing that they did with the extra Black Ops 2 personalization packs that kind of made it so, oh boy, that needs to be in the top 10. That's one of my favorite camos of all time, or anything like that. So I never really, it was just kind of a thing that I didn't really want to change. And that's the thing about the top 10 videos, is over time they're going to change, and maybe I'll revisit them in the future, but chances are I probably won't, because it's something that I put up there, and if I have to update my top 10 maps every single year, that kind of takes away the value of the video. You see a top 10 maps, like, wow, these are Nero's definitive opinions on the maps. This is cool. Let's check this out. But if it's something that I make a new one of every single year, or something like that, or every few months, every time like a new expansion or a new personalization pack comes out, it's gonna kind of lose its value. It's gonna be like, oh, this is what he thinks right now. Let's see what he thinks in a couple weeks or something when that new TLC drops or something. So I think I'd rather just kind of keep them where they're at. I've done top 10 maps, top 10 guns, I've done top 10 camos and zombie maps. Probably gonna do kill streaks sometime before Advanced Warfare drops, and hopefully that'll turn out pretty well. I've got some cool ones. There's definitely a lot of cool kill streaks we've seen throughout Call of Duty over the years. So we'll see about that. We'll definitely see about that. But yeah, they haven't changed. Yeah, my top 10 maps haven't changed. My personalization packs, it wasn't even personalization packs, it was top 10 camos. That hasn't changed either. So hopefully that answers your question, Mr. Max. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, you said you want another World War II Call of Duty. However, the campaign can only be told in so many ways, in so many different points of view. The only way or point of view that hasn't really been explored is the Nazi POV in war, which is still pretty taboo, I guess. What do you think the storyline would be, and what would you like it to follow? Henry from New York. So Henry, let's talk about this hypothetical World War II game that I'm sure as hell is not ever going to happen, because people don't want World War II anymore. There's a lot of us that do, but I think the majority of people are like, we like future stuff. Like, you just look at gaming as a whole. You look at Destiny, you look at Titanfall, you look at Black Ops 2, you look at COD Ghost, you look at Advanced Warfare. Everything is futuristic now. Everything. It's honestly getting old. I'm actually kind of hoping that it's going to cause this bubble to burst, where everything is futuristic, that someone finally comes out and says, you know what, we're going to go with World War II. That'd be pretty awesome if they did that. But in in this new World War II Call of Duty game, what would we like the campaign? What would be the point, the story of it? I don't think you necessarily need to have it from the Nazi point of view. No game's ever done the Nazi point of view, I don't think. So that would be pretty interesting. And just the same, no one's ever done like the Italian point of view. No one's ever done the Imperial Japan point of view either. They could definitely do that. But I mean, they're the bad guys. I mean, at least that's how history wrote it. They did a lot of bad things, and chances are I don't want to be the guy running a concentration camp or anything like that during my campaign. So the points of view that I would like them to do is they do the same point of view. You do the Russians, you do the Americans, you maybe do some other stuff like the British or maybe the Canadians or whatever. You do stuff like that, but you take it to places that haven't really been explored in Call of Duty campaigns, or at least haven't been explored in Call of Duty games in a very long time. Back in Call of Duty 2, there was a whole part of it where they went through Stalingrad, which Stalingrad was one of my favorite portions of World War II. It's one of the most interesting parts of World War II for me. In World at War, which was the most recent Call of Duty game to feature World War II, which came out in 2008, which, to put that in perspective, was 6 years ago, they only had like 1 or 2 missions that were actually in Stalingrad, and they rarely actually mentioned the fact that you were in Stalingrad. If you actually didn't know much about World War II, you would just think that you're in some random city. You would think, honestly, you're in a German city, but when in reality, you're in a Russian city defending it from the Germans. So it's kind of it's a neat part of history. I think we should explore more stuff from Stalingrad. I think that'd be cool. We haven't really done a whole lot with D-Day in Call of Duty. D-Day is another big part of World War II that I thought was interesting, how that entire thing worked. I know Medal of Honor did a really good piece on D-Day back on the PlayStation 2, but I don't think Call of Duty... I haven't played all the Call of Duty campaigns. I haven't played Call of Duty 3's campaign. I haven't played the original Call of Duty's campaign, but I played most of Call of Duty 2's. I was trying to beat it on Veteran, but I got stuck about partway through the game trying to beat it on Veteran, and I couldn't get past this part, so I kind of just stopped playing. But, I've beaten Call of Duty 4, World at War, Modern Warfare 2. I beat all the Call of Duty games since Call of Duty 4 campaign-wise, including World at War, and I haven't seen anything that really featured D-Day. I haven't really seen a whole lot of stuff that featured Stalingrad. We've seen some stuff that featured Berlin, but there's a lot of different stuff. Like, you basically make another World War II game, and people, I think, will enjoy the World War II multiplayer aspects, the guns and the maps and stuff like that, but in terms of the campaign, just do stuff that you didn't really feature a whole lot on in World at War. That's really all you gotta do. There's nothing really to it. Do Wake Island. I want to see some stuff about Wake Island. That would be pretty cool. Wake Island is creepy as hell. So, and Battlefield's done a bunch of stuff on Wake Island. But yeah, do some Wake Island stuff. Do some more stuff on the islands of Japan. Do some Stalingrad stuff. Do some D-Day stuff. There's a lot of stuff they could have done, but they you can't fit all of World War II into one single player game. So World at War kind of had to pick and choose what they wanted to do. So yeah, do that. Just basically do stuff you didn't do in World at War, and I think people would really enjoy it. So that's my thoughts on a futuristic World War II game that's probably never going to happen. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, you've been talking a lot about reimagined maps, and I got this awesome idea. Fog, to both of us, is one of our favorite maps that Call of Duty Ghosts came out with. What if they were to remake it as the complete opposite? Instead of being, I'm kind of like talking over his thing right now. So his idea is like Fog, like, it's all dark and dreary, and it's like a haunted house, and there's like ghosts and stuff, and Michael Myers running around and jack-o'-lantern and stuff. He wants the opposite. So a beautiful house in the summer, the grass is green, the sun's shining, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Greetings from Albin in Sweden. It's Albin. I think it's Albin. I don't know. I picture Alvin, but with a B, from Sweden. So we're getting this all the way from Sweden, which is pretty cool. So this guy gets it. Mr. Alvin from Sweden, he gets it. He gets my idea for reimagined maps. You take something and you change it to show that time has passed, right? So you take the map Fog, which is, it's on, it's like Emerald Lake or something like that, which is a reference to Crystal Lake, I think, and it's all horror movie based and stuff like that. Take that map and then make it so time has passed. Time has passed since Michael Myers was running around there. You can even add an entire story to this. So time has passed since Michael Myers murdered all those people at that cabin, at that place, the map Fog, right? Time has passed. Some new people have moved in. They fixed up the house. The house is now nice. The yard and stuff like that. All the there's plant life. Maybe they're good gardeners and stuff. Everything is beautiful and whatnot. Then you add that as DLC in the next Infinity Ward game, and you put that in there, right? And it's like, wow, this is Fog, but it's really nice and beautiful. But there's a twist. Michael Myers is back, and Michael Myers is still a kill streak that you can get on that map, and he goes running around crazy, starts killing people and stuff like that, and I just think it'd be cool. I think that would be cool. That's a cool idea for a map. That is definitely a cool idea for a map. You can add a little bit of story to it. That's what I'm talking about when I reimagine maps. You take something, you make time pass, you change it a little bit, you change the map like not at all, but you just make time pass and you change like the aesthetic of the map, how it looks and stuff like that. You don't change how it plays, and you kind of add a little bit of a story to it by doing that, which is pretty awesome, which makes the maps feel more unique, makes the maps feel more fun. And Mr. Albin from Sweden here gets it. When I was talking about the reimagined maps in that video I did a couple days back, he gets it. So that's definitely awesome. And I think that's a cool idea. That's a great idea. I never thought of that. It's a great idea for the map Fog. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I recently started a second channel, and I'm finding it hard to upload to both my main channel and my secondary channel. My question is, how do you manage to run both at the same time, and what tips would you give to someone who are trying to run two channels at once? Jack from the United Kingdom. So Jack is right. I do have a second channel, youtube.com/Nero's Let's Plays. There's always a link down in the video description. You click that, it'll take you right over to Nero's Let's Plays. This is on, it doesn't even automatically make you subscribe or anything like that. It just takes you over to my channel so you can look at it. You know, it's a Let's Play channel. I've got tons of different Pokemon playthroughs. I've got part of a GTA 5 playthrough before I got bored of that game. We've got a bunch of Hearthstone stuff, a bunch of Borderlands 2 stuff, a bunch of Borderlands 2 DLC stuff as well. A bunch of different games and stuff like that. When Borderlands pre-sequel comes out, we're doing a lot of that. It's going to be cool. I like my Let's Play channel. It's basically all the games I play that aren't Call of Duty, and I just upload to that channel, and it's fun. How do you manage running two channels? It's kind of difficult at times, because NerosCinema, especially like days like today, with how awful my sleep schedule is, I end up waking up at like 3 in the afternoon. Then I have a very short amount of time if I want to get Dear Nero out here on time before it's like ridiculously late and people don't even see it. So I gotta kind of hurry to get the gameplay. I gotta hurry and get Dear Nero done. And then if I want to do something on Nero's Let's Plays, I also have to record stuff for that. So the tip to it is, if you're on your second channel, you should probably do more casual, laid back stuff. Where stuff on NerosCinema, usually Dear Nero is kind of an exception, but stuff on NerosCinema is usually more edited. It usually has a lot more thought going into it. There's usually a lot higher effort video on NerosCinema. Whereas Nero's Let's Plays, it's more of a laid back live commentary, Let's Play style of environment where it's just kind of a relaxing thing. 20 minutes or so of video. He's playing a video game, chatting about stuff, and having fun. And so it's a lot more laid back there, and therefore it's a lot easier to make videos, not Nero's. It's a lot easier to make videos over on Nero's Let's Plays as compared to NerosCinema. And that's how I manage having two channels at the same time. It's because while I'm putting in a lot more effort on NerosCinema, Nero's Let's Plays, I'm not putting in that same amount of effort. I'm relaxing, I'm playing some video games, I'm chatting with you guys. It's more of a laid back environment as compared to NerosCinema, where things are a lot more well thought out and coherent. So yeah, that's my tip to you is don't try and do super high effort videos on both channels because if you do that, then you're just really kind of stretching yourself thin, both creatively and just stressed, because you're like, I gotta get these both out today, and it just adds a lot of stress that you don't need. Just if you're gonna have a second channel, make it a relaxing channel. Just gonna have fun with it. Make it a Let's Play style channel. That's why a lot of people like watching Let's Plays. I mean, they're just more relaxed. They're just someone playing a video game, having fun, chatting with you. In the comments of the video and stuff like that, and talking about stuff, and it's just fun. It's a fun little system of a Let's Play channel. So that's my suggestion to you, Mr. Jack from the United Kingdom. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, what is your opinion on ROMs and emulators? I don't see anything wrong with playing Nintendo 64 games or Game Boy games that no one is going to be making any money from anyway. I've even played some quote-unquote hacked Pokemon games that other people have made, and they're really fun. Keep up the great videos. Sam from Pennsylvania. So Sam, I basically have the same opinion on ROMs and emulators as you do. There's nothing wrong with it since nobody is making money. It's literally impossible for me to go buy a copy of Pokemon Red or even Pokemon Fire Red from Nintendo. I'm not hurting the developer, I'm not hurting the publisher, because it's literally impossible for me to buy these games from the people that made them. At this point now, if I want, Pokemon Red, I need to go buy like a Game Boy Color on eBay and buy Pokemon Red from some guy on eBay, right? That's how it works. I literally cannot purchase these things from the developer or from the publisher anymore. So they're not making any money. So no one gets hurt. No one gets hurt in a situation if you're making ROMs and you're emulating games that it's impossible for you to buy from the developer or from the publisher anymore. It's impossible. It's not like you're selling them. It's not like the people that are making these ROMs and making these emulators are even trying to sell them or make money off of it. So what's the harm? What's the harm in that? It's kind of like YouTube, right? I don't care if you download my videos. You can download my videos. Keep them. Do whatever you want with them. Just don't upload them to your own channel. Because one, you're trying to make money off something you didn't make yourself, and two, it's the exact same video that I have on my channel, and therefore you're gonna be taking some of the views from stuff I've already made. Therefore, you're kind of taking money from me. So that's kind of a lose-lose, right? You shouldn't. And if I actually have found situations where people have taken my videos, it's funny because okay, this is off topic, but there are people out there that take videos from tons of different YouTubers, and then they all upload them up to their YouTube channel, and they get like a Google AdSense thing, and they make a little bit of money, like not very much, but they make a little bit of money off of all these videos. I found like 2 or 3 of these channels because I was trying to find like an old video of mine. Like one of them was I did a live team scout sniping video in World at War where it was me and a full party of friends and subscribers, and we were all playing World at War. It was Ground War Team Deathmatch, and we all went to the very back of the map with bouncing betties and sniper rifles on cliffside, and we were were, just sniping, and it was great. It was great because we were all in the back. It was so hard for the enemy to get to us because we all had sniper rifles. We're all just aiming and ready to take people out. Really fun video. And I wanted to find it, so I searched up NerosCinema, World at War, scout sniping and stuff. And I found 2 videos of it. I found the one I uploaded and the one that someone stole from me and put on their own channel. Like, they didn't add anything to it. They didn't remix it or anything like that. They just completely took my video, re-uploaded to their channel, and kind of said it was their own. Then you look at their channel and they have thousands of videos that they've uploaded over the course of 2 days because all they're doing is downloading and uploading other people's videos and pretending that they're their own so they can make money off AdSense. Needless to say, I found 2 other videos on there that were mine. Therefore, there was 3 videos. I claimed all 3 of them. He got YouTube 3 strikes, you're out. That channel got shut down, and I've done that to multiple channels. Don't steal people's videos and just upload them. That's a bad thing. But if you want to download my videos and just keep them, maybe you want to take Dear Nero. Maybe you want to download Dear Nero. You want to put it on your phone. You want to listen to it while you're in your car or something like that. Who cares? That's fine. It doesn't hurt me at all. Do whatever you want with my videos. Download them. Just don't upload them. That's basically the thing of it. Don't try and make any money off of it. That kind of thing. So I think the same thing kind of applies to emulators. I think the same thing kind of applies to ROMs as well. If no one's making money off of it, what's the harm? Since it's impossible for me to buy the game from if I wanted to, like I said, Pokemon Red, Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Fire Red, these are games that I've done different playthroughs of on my Let's Play channel. It's impossible for me to buy this game from the developer or from the publisher, so what's the harm? What's the harm in somebody doing ROM or emulating something like that? So yeah, I mean, all power to you. It's even, what's kind of funny though is as time goes on, a lot of games are becoming ROM and emulator worthy, in my opinion. Like PlayStation 2 games, you can't buy them from the people anymore. You can't hop on. I don't even know who made the game, but a game I played a ton of growing up was The Simpsons Hit and Run. It was like GTA. It was like Grand Theft Auto, but it was The Simpsons. I liked The Simpsons growing up. I really did. So I wanted to get that game, right? I don't even know who made that game, but it's impossible to buy that game from GameStop or anything like that anymore, where a portion of that money will actually go back to the developer or go back to the publisher. That just can't happen. You have to either find the game on eBay, just buy it from some random person, or you can emulate it, right? And I like that idea a lot better. So ROMs and emulators, definitely a good thing in my opinion. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I'm planning on getting a PlayStation 4 eventually, but right now I'm still using my Xbox 360. Do you think I should wait until I get a PlayStation 4 to get Advanced Warfare, or do you think it will be a good enough game on last gen even though it was ported? Andrew from New York. So Andrew, I would say, yeah, you can definitely get it on your Xbox 360 if you're excited enough for it. I guess that depends really on when you're gonna get your PlayStation 4. So if you don't plan on getting your PlayStation 4, you say you're gonna get it eventually. If you don't plan on getting it within the first few months of Advanced Warfare being out, you might as well just get it for your Xbox 360 and play it. I mean, there's no harm in that. There really isn't. You want to experience the game. Of course, you're excited for the game, and it's Call of Duty. They're gonna make sure it's a good game. They're not just gonna have some kind of crappy port going on to last gen consoles where people aren't gonna be able to enjoy the game nearly as much as the people playing on the PlayStation 4 and on the Xbox One. That's just something that's not going to happen. So, I mean, it'll be fine on the Xbox 360. It'll be fine on the PlayStation 3. And if you're going to PS4 eventually, I mean, in the end, I think you're going to end up spending a little bit more money. If you were to get, this is going to sound weird, but if you were to get an Xbox One instead, you'd probably get kind of a deal on that. Because they have a deal, whereas if you buy a game on the Xbox 360 and you want to get that same game on the Xbox One, usually there's kind of a discount on that. Oh, you only pay $5 or something like that, and then we'll upgrade your game for you for free. You basically pay $5 and you get the Xbox One version and trade in your Xbox 360 version. That's something a lot of places do, but I don't think it would work that way if you did it with a PlayStation 4. If you try handing in your Xbox 360 copy to get a PlayStation 4 copy for $5, I don't think it works out that way. I don't know, but regardless, if you want a PlayStation 4, get the PlayStation 4. But in the end, you're going to end up spending probably an extra $60 to buy the game again. But if it's a good game, I don't think that would really be the biggest of deals. So, yeah, definitely get it for the 360. Whenever you ever decide to get a PlayStation 4, get it. Because I know how people are with that. Oh, I'm going to get one eventually. And then it'll be 6 months down the road and you still don't have one. You're like, wow, I should have just bought Advanced Warfare back in November. So you should probably just get it in November and just put off getting a PlayStation 4. Because to be perfectly honest, there's really no reason to get a next-gen console as of right now. There's nothing out there that's really just kind of like a great game that you need to have that's on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. I mean, so far next gen's been a giant disappointment for me personally, but yeah, there's no real reason to get either one of those. So if you have a 360 and you want to get Advanced Warfare, just get it. I think you'll have fun with it. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, recently I've been playing a lot of FPS games, but they've been getting pretty boring. Do you have any suggestions on games that are easy to pick up at first? Andrew from Pennsylvania. So Andrew, it's that time of year. It's October now. It's actually officially October. It's actually October 1st right now, and it's that time of year, man. It's been that time of year for me for a few months now, where the current Call of Duty, or even just Call of Duty in general, is kind of like it's kind of stale. I want the new Call of Duty game to come out. I've played all these other ones so much now. You know, you want to try something new. You want to try something different. I got you. So for me, I've been playing MMO games. I've been playing World of Warcraft and playing the Elder Scrolls Online. Those are both really fun games, but they're kind of expensive. For like World of Warcraft, for example, you have to spend $20 to buy it initially, and then you're paying $15 a month to continue to be able to play it. Elder Scrolls Online, I think, is $30 maybe on Steam. They keep running sales on it. The price is always changing, but between $30 and $60 for the Elder Scrolls Online. This is once again a PC game as well, where you're also going to be paying $15 a month for a subscription. So that can be kind of rough for a lot of people. A game I suggest to everybody, and anyone can run this regardless of your PC. You can use this game on iPad, for crying out loud. I suggest Hearthstone to a lot of you guys. Hearthstone is a great game. It's a card game. It's a free-to-play card game where there is microtransactions where you can buy packs of cards and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's a free-to-play game that you can earn gold while playing and doing different kinds of quests and stuff like that. And you can use that gold to buy packs of cards and stuff within the game without ever actually having to spend cent on it. There's actually YouTubers out there, Trump specifically comes to mind, where they take a brand new account and then he calls the series free to play, where he takes a brand new account on Hearthstone and he does not buy anything, and he goes all the way up to Legend rank, which is the highest possible rank, which is really hard to get to, and he does it without ever spending a dime on the game. So it's a free to play game. It's a truly free to play game, which is pretty nice, and it's fun. It's set in the Blizzard universe. There's a lot of World of Warcraft style stuff in there, and what's really kind of cool about it, though, what really kind of drew me in was it kind of took me back to the days of playing like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or playing Pokemon cards, when I was younger, and like in elementary school, maybe early middle school, and all the time I spent playing like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even a little bit of Magic the Gathering. Even though I never really knew much about how to actually play the game, I was still kind of aware of it and a little bit of how it worked in Pokemon cards, and especially Yu-Gi-Oh! It kind of took me back to that. It takes you back to like, you have your deck of cards and you're constantly changing things around within your deck of cards to try and make it better. There's so many different kinds of heroes, and there's freaking so many different kinds of cards to get, and so many different kind of decks to build, and it's really, really, really fun. And then of course there's always the fun of being able to open up a pack of cards and seeing who you get. Hopefully you get the card you want. There's also gold cards, which is freaking amazing looking. It's a really, really fun game. It's free to play. You just download it. Anything can run it. Anything can run it. It's a PC game. Anything can run it because it's a card game, for crying out loud. It works on an iPad, so it will work on your computer regardless of what computer you're using. It's just a really, really fun game. I suggest Hearthstone. I mean, there's a bunch of games that I could suggest, but I think you guys should all try out Hearthstone. And what's really kind of cool about it is you're not just thrown to the wolves right away. They don't just hand you a deck and say, go play against other people. They start you off where you have to face the computer, and the computer basically teaches you everything you need to know about the game. Or you can go to my Let's Play channel, and I have a nice like 25-minute guide showing you literally everything there is to do within the game, how every single little mechanic within the game works. So yeah, Hearthstone, very, very good game. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, should I get the Advanced Warfare Season Pass? I got it for Black Ops 2, but for Ghost, I only got the DLC that had the Ripper in it. I don't know if I should get it right away or if I should wait for some DLCs to come out first. Josh from Canada. So Josh, I'm never an advocate of a season pass. I'm just not. I mean, season passes to me, they're kind of a waste. They really are. You're paying for something ahead of time that you don't even know if you're going to like. You can pre-order Advanced Warfare. It's Call of Duty, regardless if you think it's a good Call of Duty or bad Call of Duty. You're going to like it for a while. That's how Call of Duty works. And people loved Call of Duty Ghosts for a while. Even if they hate it now, they got their money's worth out of Call of Duty Ghosts. That's how Call of Duty works, right? But when it comes to a season pass, you never have any idea if you're going to like the DLC. Most of the DLC is honestly bad. And that's for all games, right? Most of the DLC maps for all the Call of Duty games are pretty ass. Occasionally you get some real gems like Grind. I think Grind is one of the best maps. It actually made my top 10 Call of Duty maps. Grind was a DLC map, and I thought it was great, and it was one of my favorite maps of all time. But for every Grind, you have like 4 or 5 Creeks, which was a map in Call of Duty 4 that you guys probably don't even play. It was an awful map. Creek was a bad map. Chances are there are going to be some bad maps in there. So what you should do is you should wait for YouTubers like me. I don't even buy the season pass. I just buy the DLCs as they come out. But I do buy every single DLC for Call of Duty. I walk you guys through every section of the map. It's something that a lot of people may find boring, but people that are actually wondering whether or not they want to buy the DLC, I show you guys those maps. I try and show you every square inch of those maps, and that's why I do it. That's why I do it. So you guys have an indication as to whether or not you guys want to buy these maps. You guys can make an informed decision as to whether or not this DLC will be right for you and whether or not you want to spend $15 on it. that's why I do. That's why I do with those walkthrough videos. I'm going to continue to do those through Advanced Warfare. So I suggest not buying a season pass. All in all, I think you save like $10 if you were to buy all 4 DLCs, all 4 major DLCs, and if you were to buy all 4 of them at regular price compared to having a season pass, you end up saving like $10. But are you really saving $10 when you hated most of the DLC? Right? So you should just buy a DLC as it comes out and see if you actually like that kind of stuff. So let's say the first DLC pack is freaking amazing. That's awesome. Like, it just has like a bunch of awesome maps and everyone loves the first DLC pack for Advanced Warfare and it's great. Then you buy that DLC pack. But let's say the second one comes out and only one of the maps is good. The other 2 are pretty blah and there's nothing else really special about it. Then you can probably live without having to buy that DLC. It kind of works out that way. So don't buy a season pass. My honest opinion, don't buy a season pass really for any game. Just don't buy it and just buy a DLC as it comes out after you can make an informed decision as to whether or not you're going to like those maps or not. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, if you could make one multiplayer map and one zombies map for the next Treyarch Call of Duty, what would they be? From Liam in England. So Liam here, I'm going to tell you, man, I'm going to tell you the best freaking idea. I've got it all pictured out in my head. The map I would make for the multiplayer would be CeeLo. We're going to remake CeeLo, but going with my kind of reimagined maps video idea, we're going to have some obvious time pass. So CeeLo now is going to be a ghost town. It's been completely abandoned since World War II. Picture this all in your head, CeeLo from World War, completely abandoned since World War II. There are still World War II helmets and guns left inside the buildings. Of course, you can't use them, but they're just kind of there as scenery. It's kind of like walking into the past when you go onto this map. The bridge in the middle of the map of CeeLo, it now has some evolution to it. I picture this idea for actual evolution where that bridge, since it's so old and hasn't been used or touched or anything, it's all made of wood, it hasn't been used since World War II, there's evolution where partway through the map, that bridge collapses. The middle of it just kind of caves in. And you never know what's going to happen. It doesn't come at a certain time. Like, evolution kind of sucks if it comes in periodically and you can expect it to happen. This thing is going to randomly collapse at any point in the map and you never know what's going to happen. It could be in the first 10 seconds of the map starting. Like, you could spawn in and start running towards the middle and suddenly the bridge collapses. You never know. Or it could stay up the entirety of the game and it could end, and then it could blow up like 2 minutes, before the match ends. That's my idea for evolution. It's going to be very cool. You never know what's going to happen. There's going to be tanks on the map because it's well known that there are tanks on CeeLo, but those tanks are in the exact same spot, but they're all out of commission. They're just kind of there to remind you that tanks were actually used on CeeLo. The cornfield on the half of the map that was not used for search and destroy, like the back half of the map, there's a big kind of cornfield there. That's now a graveyard. Right? These are just some ideas I came up with randomly, kind of like top of my head. I jotted these all down, like as I was like copy and pasting this question into my text folder so I could read it for Dear Nero. Like as I was reading it, I started getting these ideas and I kind of wrote them down. Like a remake of CeeLo, make it so all this time has passed since World War II happened. You still got like SVT-40s and Mosin Nagants in the windows and stuff like that. You've got Russian helmets and German helmets, and you've got now a bunch of graveyards and stuff. I think it'd be cool. It'd be an awesome map. My idea for a zombies map. Zombie CeeLo. Anyone? Zombie CeeLo? Think about it. It'd be fucking cool. I love CeeLo. I like CeeLo a little bit too much. It was my number 1 map on my favorite of my top 10 Call of Duty maps. I love the map, and actually, believe it or not, it probably could make for a cool zombie map because it's such a big multiplayer map that if you break it off into sections that you have to get through and stuff like that, you maybe change around a few things. Zombie CeeLo could be a pretty cool map. In fact, there's actually a mod. Would it be a mod? I don't know. It's a modded map, I suppose, on World at War on the PC for zombies that you can download, and it's kind of like a custom zombie map. That's the word I'm looking for. It's not. I guess technically it's a mod, but it's more of a custom zombie map that someone made, where they take the CeeLo part of the campaign and they turn it into a zombie mission, and it's kind of a really interesting idea for zombies, and you kind of play through it, and it's kind of story based as well, and you have to survive, of course, and it's kind of a really neat thing. Do the same kind of idea, but do it on CeeLo in the multiplayer, and yeah, it'd be cool. I like CeeLo. Maybe the zombie idea isn't the greatest idea, but the multiplayer idea was freaking awesome, and I would love to see that in any Call of Duty game ever. Next question, he writes, Dear Nero, I recently watched your console war video and I have thought, what if Activision got Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft to agree to let their online Call of Duty populations mix together in a playlist? For example, one team would be PlayStation 4 players, the other team is Xbox One players. From Luke S. So Mr. Luke, I had this idea before actually. I always thought it'd be neat if we could just end up playing cross-platform online with other people. You know, what I don't know how like it would all work and how all the technical side behind it, but I think it'd be cool if, you know, if we're playing Call of Duty Ghosts on the Xbox 360, if when we join into the online multiplayer that we could also end up facing people from the PlayStation 3, we could also end up playing people from the Wii U. That would be kind of a cool thing. I think that would actually be pretty great, just because one, everything would be way more populated. Like imagine if all those guys were all thrown together into the same thing. Like all the playlists would be super populated. You'd never have to wait very long to get into a lobby for anything. It would be pretty great. The downside is we have to kick the PC people out. PC people are not allowed to play because they're playing at a lot higher frame rate, and any PC guy will tell you, I mean, aiming with someone that's good with a keyboard and mouse, they will have ridiculously good aim. Like there's no auto aim on PC. That's because they don't need it. Like using a mouse, you can be very, very accurate with it, and that's the reason why there's auto aim like on the consoles, because the joysticks are really kind of goofy, right? They just don't work out that well. That's why they have to have auto aim in there to kind of help compensate that. But on the PC, like the people that aim on PC are really, really good. And yeah, I remember when I first started playing PC games, people were like, "Oh man, you should not. Dude, the PC players are so good. They're so hardcore." They're really not. I mean, there's some good PC players, but there's good Xbox players, there's good PlayStation players. But for the most part, what they're talking about when they say that is a good PC player can be very, very good with a keyboard and mouse, because the aim is just so perfect and so dead on accurate as compared to using stuff with analog sticks, which is a lot harder to judge. A lot more auto aim goes in there to compensate for how hard it is to really kind of aim with a joystick. So if we had PC players running around against Xbox players, the PC players would probably dominate all of our faces. So yeah, that'd be a thing. But yeah, I think it'd be cool though if you take the console versions and kind of combine them all in like one mega server. I think that'd be pretty cool. But then again, we would need dedicated servers for that, which we were supposed to get with Call of Duty Ghosts. Remember that? Remember the dedicated servers? That never happened. False advertising is what that was. False advertising. Next and final question. He's gonna write, Dear Nero, will you buy the iPhone 6 or the iPhone 6 Plus? From Nathan in California. So Nathan, I'm not buying the iPhone 6. I'm not buying the iPhone 6 Plus, and it's not because of all the reasons people don't want to buy it. Like the iPhone 6 Plus, I've seen the videos. I've seen people like being able to bend them and how the thing can bend in your pocket. Aside from that, I think it's a cool looking phone. I mean, if it would stop bending, I think it'd be kind of cool to have a phone that's that big. That sounds awesome. But here's the thing: I don't like change. I'm not a change guy. Here's the phone I use. I use the iPhone 4S. Prior to that, I used a BlackBerry Storm, and I used that BlackBerry Storm for probably 6 or 7 years. Like I used it forever, like ever since I was like early middle school. I had the BlackBerry Storm, and I remember the cool thing about the BlackBerry Storm when you first got it was it made clicking noises when you typed. That was the cool thing. That was like the seller for everything. And they came out with the BlackBerry Storm 2, and I'm like, no, I'm not buying that. I don't like change. But eventually, my BlackBerry Storm, after replacing it so many times, because I kept dropping it or it would break or stuff like that. Eventually, after replacing it so many times, I'm like, I'm gonna try out the iPhone, because everyone talked about the iPhone. So I got the iPhone 4S, and I still have the iPhone 4S. People got the iPhone 5s. People now have iPhone 6s and 6 Pluses and 5Ss. People have all these phones. I'm still at the 4S. I'm still using iOS 6. iOS 6, ladies and gentlemen. I have not upgraded to iOS 7. I've not upgraded to iOS 8. I don't care. I don't like change. I'm leaving it. I like the way my phone works now, and I'm keeping it that way. There's a reason why we're on episode 111 of Dear Nero right now. There's a reason why I still primarily post only Call of Duty on my channel. There's a reason why I don't use my Xbox One for anything. It's because I don't like change. I am not a fan of change, and so I'm not going to get the iPhone 6. I'm not going to get the iPhone 6 Plus. And all honesty, with how little I use my phone, I'm wondering if I should just kind of get rid of my iPhone 4S and just get like a pay-as-you-go phone, because I literally don't use my phone for anything besides like checking Twitter and my email with like YouTube related stuff, right? So I don't use my phone for anything. So I'm thinking, should I just go ahead and get rid of this, get like a pay-as-you-go phone, then maybe invest in like an iPod or an iPad or something that can do all the things like email and can do Twitter and stuff like that, but I'm not spending an outrageous amount of money in my stupid contract to be able to pay for a phone that I never use. So I don't know. I'm wondering about that, but I'm still under my contract for this phone, so I'm not gonna be able to do much about that now. When I get out of my contract, strongly considering just getting like a pay-as-you-go phone that I can make calls or texts on, and then maybe just getting like an iPod or an iPad or something. I'm considering an iPad just because I can play Hearthstone on it. That would be freaking cool. That'd be cool. And the money you spend on an iPad over time is going to be way less than spending money on an iPhone. So, I don't know. Well, let's see about that. But yeah, I'm a guy that doesn't like change. I'm not going to get an iPhone 6. I'm not going to get a 6 Plus. Hell, I'm still on iOS 6. Still on iOS 6. I don't care. I don't want iOS 7. I don't want iOS 8. Don't want any of it. So, that's me. That's me. Not big into change. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode of Dear Nero. And if you did, please be sure to leave a rating where you guys feel the video deserves. Definitely a bit longer than last week's. I think everyone was kind of hoping for that. If you guys like to send in your guys' questions for next week's episode of Dear Nero, simply send me a personal message here on YouTube. Try and make like the first few words in your question Dear Nero. That way it's easier to sort through the messages. Then there you go. You submit your questions for Dear Nero. It's that simple, really. Apparently it doesn't work out that well on mobile devices. Apparently people on mobile devices are kind of having issues sending messages. Like how you send messages on YouTube is you go to my YouTube channel, NerosCinema. You go to the About button, then you scroll down, and down towards the bottom there'll be a Send Message button. It works on PC, but apparently on mobile there's no Send Message button there. So apparently you gotta be at your computer to send a message. I have no idea how that works, but a lot of you guys sent in questions, so apparently a lot of you guys know how to do it. So you send in your guys' questions, and hopefully you'll be on next week's episode of Dear Nero. So hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.